How often does it happen to you that you work kind of the whole day, but at the end of it, you have not really done much? And more than that, you also feel exhausted, disappointed, and stressed. Well, you and me both. I've been interested in productivity for well over a decade, and I've noticed that the days when I'm really productive have something in common. And if I do these things, I dramatically increase the chance of having a productive day. And at the end of it, I feel energized and I'm like, yeah, today was a good day.
Hi, my name is Mariana, and here I talk about being productive, being focused on things that matter, and on getting things done. I'm the kind of person that enjoys learning, getting better, and I like setting goals and reaching them. I don't believe that once we become adults, we should stop dreaming and striving for something. So, if you are a little bit similar, make sure you subscribe. I think you might find my content here interesting.
So, what are the things that if you do, I can almost guarantee you that you are going to have a really good and productive day?
Sitting down once a week, reviewing the previous week, and planning the upcoming week makes a huge difference. I identify the most important things I want to achieve in the upcoming week. These things need to be something that are going to help me achieve my quarterly and yearly goals. This ensures I'm not only putting off fires, but I actually get things done that matter long term. I try to keep it to about 1 to 3 tasks. The number depends on how busy my week is and how large the tasks are. Another thing I do during my weekly review is I do a brain dump of everything that I have in my head that needs to be done. Usually these are small things such as order something, make an appointment, make a payment, respond to someone, etc. Once I do a brain dump, I go through as many of these tasks as possible, as long as they take only a few minutes at a time. I usually get through most of them within 30 minutes or less. If a task would take too long, I make sure I put it on Trello if it's not there already, or I make sure it's scheduled in my week ahead. During this weekly review, I usually just put down what I want to do. I don't do a detailed day-to-day plan for every day.
The second thing that helps me to have a really good productive day is to plan my day a day before. I can also do it on the day in the morning, but I definitely found that doing it day before works much better.
During my review, I check what I have done that day and what maybe needs to be finished in the next day. I do time blocking. So first I put my non-negotiables in. It's usually meetings and things with a hard deadline. I allocate these to a certain time. With the time I have left, if there is a window of an hour or more, I try to insert there one of the important tasks from the weekly review or a larger task that I know has a deadline at some point that week. I really try to do a lot of things with the deadline early in the week, so if something unexpected happens, I don't have to stress too much as the stuff with the deadline is already done. The smaller windows with less than an hour are then filled with smaller tasks or things like answering emails.
The above points are the alpha and omega. If I do this, I'm certain it's going to be a good day and a good week. But sometimes the problem is not the lack of organization and planning. Sometimes there are other things that are going on. Sometimes I feel stressed and overwhelmed, or I might be going through one thing over and over in my head and just playing it out again and again, and that's definitely not a good start into a productive day.
I found doing even a short meditation helps. I use Insight Timer for either unguided meditation or a guided meditation. With the unguided meditation, I found even 5 to 10 minutes can help a lot. With the guided one, I feel I get the benefits only with at least 15 minutes. What also helps me is going for a walk or doing something mundane like cleaning and just letting it play in my head for 15 minutes. Sometimes taking a few minutes and going through the problem as if I'm talking it through with someone really helps me to get stuff out of my chest, and then I can return to my work.
Another point is to having a clean and organized space. My day is going to be much more productive if I have a clean and organized desk where I have my laptop if I need it or whatever I need, and then I just have a paper and pen. I work on what I need to work on, and then if a thought comes to my head and I'm like, I need to do this now, I just write it down. And then the head knows that I'm not going to forget it, it's going to be taken care of, and I can focus on whatever I need to do. And then once I'm finished, I take the paper and I take everything what is written on it and put it on my Trello board so it is not forgotten. Make sure that you are not getting distracted. Or if you know that you're very likely to get distracted, plan ahead and do things that are easy to return to once you are distracted, like answering emails. If I am working on an important task, I make myself busy. And that looks always a little bit different depending on where I'm working. So if I'm in the office, I might shut my door, I might put busy in my calendar, and I will turn my status on Teams as busy or turn it off completely. If I'm at home, I definitely don't schedule important tasks when my daughter is around because she's 3 years old, she doesn't understand that mommy is busy and doesn't want to be disturbed. So I plan the important stuff only when she's not around, she's in daycare or sleeping, and then I just let my husband know, hey, I'm now working on an important task, please don't disturb me for this amount of time. If you have a hard time starting, I have few techniques for you. If the task ahead of you seems way too big, divide it into small tasks. When we see a large task, we sometimes just shut off. You're like, nah, I'm not going to do it. But if we split it into small and manageable steps, suddenly it feels like, oh yeah, I can do this one, I can do this, I can do this. So you might have a report you just don't want to write. But if you divide it into small steps, like turning on the computer, you can do that. Opening a Word document, you can do that. Writing the title, sure. Writing the outline, why not? Maybe writing the introduction. And if you go step by step like this, suddenly you're halfway done.
Or you can set up a timer for 5 or 10 minutes, give it your all, and if you still don't want to do it, take a break and then try again. Sometimes the hardest part is to start, and once you start, you're happy to continue.
Another tip is to switch tasks. If you really don't want to do this task, switch it for something else which has a similar level of importance that you are planning to do on that week. But you're allowed to do that only once. This should be really used only in special circumstances. And my final point is learn from your previous week. At the beginning of this video, I talked about reviewing and scheduling the week, and I focused on the upcoming week, on how to schedule it. But it's really important to look at the previous week and learn from that. Maybe take 10 minutes and just brainstorm on what went well, what you didn't achieve, why didn't you achieve it. You know, in these videos, you're never going to be like, wow, that person in that video told me something I never would have thought about without that person. No, what we are talking about is a common sense. So if you take just 10 minutes and think about why you are not as productive as you could be, you are going to figure it out. Just take those few minutes and think about it. Maybe you need to learn how to say no. Maybe you need to delegate more. Or maybe you need to take a break and recharge. Whatever it is, I hope this video gave you some ideas and maybe a little bit of motivation. If it did, please like this video, comment and subscribe. I wish you a very productive week ahead. Bye.